I never thought I'd find myself here, questioning the foundation of the life I thought was unbreakable. But here I am, dissecting every memory, every word, and every look we ever shared. It all started on an ordinary Tuesday night. For years, I'd believed our marriage was strong, built on a foundation of shared dreams and promises. We'd been together since our early 20s, weathering moves, sleepless nights with newborns, countless anniversaries. But now, sitting alone in our dark living room, I realized how little I truly knew about the life I thought we shared. The unraveling began with an unexpected message on his phone. I wasn't snooping. It was just there, a woman's name I didn't recognize, alongside a message that left little to the imagination. My hands shook, my heart raced, and a heavy, suffocating feeling settled in my chest. At first, I tried to convince myself there had to be a reasonable explanation. I wanted to trust him, to believe this was a misunderstanding. But as days passed, I noticed the small cracks, the inconsistencies in his stories. My heart was breaking, but I wasn't yet ready to confront him. So I began piecing things together on my own. The late-night meetings, hushed phone calls, his sudden attention to his appearance, all things I'd brushed aside until now. The final confirmation came when I followed him one night, hoping to find some clarity. I saw him sitting across from her in a dimly lit cafe, their faces close, their eyes locked. I didn't need to hear their words. Their look said everything. I turned and walked away, feeling as though the ground beneath me had shattered. I wanted to confront him then and there, but the heartbreak was too raw. I returned home, waiting in silence, feeling like a stranger in my own life. Each night, I lay awake beside him, replaying every memory, every shared moment, wondering how long he'd been deceiving me. Days turned into weeks, each more painful than the last. I spent countless nights replaying memories and every promise he'd ever made to me. Had our life together all been a lie? I found myself questioning my worth, wondering if I wasn't enough, or if I'd somehow pushed him to this betrayal. But deep down, I knew his choices were his own. That didn't lessen the pain, though. Finally, I gathered the courage to confront him. One evening, after our children were asleep, I looked him in the eyes and asked the question I'd been avoiding. His silence was confirmation, and when he finally spoke, the regret in his voice shattered what little hope I had left. My emotions surged from disbelief to anger, then to a hollow sadness. This was the man I'd shared my life with, who'd been by my side through so much, and he'd thrown it all away. The foundation of our 15-year marriage crumbled before me, leaving me alone in the wreckage, lost in a sea of betrayal. I wrestled with the idea of leaving, tearing apart everything we'd built together. But our lives were so deeply entangled. Our children, our home, our friends. Staying felt like betraying myself, my dignity, my worth. But leaving felt like abandoning everything I'd ever known. One evening, sitting alone in the silence, a strange sense of clarity washed over me. I didn't have all the answers, and I didn't know exactly what the future held, but I knew this. I deserved honesty, love, and respect. I was worth more than being someone's second choice, someone's hidden regret. In the following weeks, I began the painful process of healing and reclaiming myself. I leaned on friends and family, who reminded me of my strength and lifted me up when I felt like falling. Slowly, I started to imagine a life where I wasn't defined by someone else's choices, but by my own resilience, my own worth. There were moments when the pain felt overwhelming, when I wanted to forgive, to go back to what we had. But each time I felt that pull, I reminded myself of the lies, the betrayal, and the strength it had taken to survive this. I wasn't going back. Months passed, and although scars remained, I found myself smiling again, feeling hopeful. The pain would always be a part of me, a chapter in my story, but it no longer defined me. I was stronger, wiser, and, for perhaps the first time in a long time, truly free.